Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Intan. I'm student English 2018 English Education Study Program, Faculty of Language Education, IKIP Siliwangi. First of all, I would like thanks to Allah because Allah blessing I can present my final assessment under title Developing Opening Media for Narrative Text Materials Using Narrative Learning. Okay, in this time I will present my research paper. This presentation have a 5 outline. The first outline is background of the research. In this stage, I will explain about what the background research of the research to develop learning media for narrative text material using narrative learning. And the second outline is the objective of the research. And the third outline is the methodology. In this stage consists of 3 parts. The first one is research method, the second is research instrument, the third is subject of the research, and then the fourth outline is the result of the research, and the last is about conclusion. Okay, let's move the first outline. In this first outline, there is background of the research. Background of the research of develop of learning media for narrative text material using narrative learning. Learning media is one of the factors that support the learning process in schools because using learning media can help students understand what information the teacher conveyed. This is aligned with Haruko's opinion in Hamid 2020 that learning media are generally defined as a tools, method, and technique used to facilitate communication between teacher and students in more effective education and teaching process. And then, this is a current situation in this background. There is the teachers has obstacle in delivering material because the learning media or tools that the teacher has are only English textbook and models. And then the students have difficult to understand the subject matter. And then still many students who have lack of motivation to learn, especially independent learning. And as a solution, the researchers develop a learning media for narrative text using narrative learning. Okay, now the second outline is objective of the research. In this stage, I will explain about the purpose of the research. In this stage, researcher have 4 purposes. The first is to know the process and result of the developing opening media for narrative text material using Android-based interactive learning media called narrative learning. And the second is to know the feasibility developing learning media for narrative text materials using narrative learning to expert and practitioner. And the third is to know students' response to the developed Android-based interactive learning media called narrative learning. And the last one is to identify obstacles encountered during the development of Android-based interactive learning media for narrative text material called narrative learning. Okay, the third outline is methodology. The first is research method. The study uses research and development or R&D. According to Berg and Gall and modified by Sugiono, there are 10 steps. The following are the steps of the research and development method is 10 steps. The first is fantasial and probable. In this stage, researcher is identify what is a potential or carried out and problems that can be the background of the research carried out. And the second is research and data collection. After the potential and problems can be identified, researcher is to collect data, various information that can be used material for product planning that is expected to overcome this problem. In this stage, the researchers conducted a need analysis by conducting an interview with a class 10 English teacher at some Islamic senior high school in Segalherang, Subang. And the third is product design. In this stage, the researcher make a product design that will be developed based on the need analysis that has been carried out previously. In this stage, the third stage is product design. In this stage, the researchers make a product design that will be developed based on the need analysis that has been carried out previously. And then the fourth stage is design validation. In this study, design validation involved several experts, namely material expert, learning media expert, and the English teacher teens in Senior High School Islamic in Subang. And the fifth stage is product revision. And then the sixth stage is preliminary part or product trials. In this stage, the researchers involving 40 class 10 students of one of senior high school in Subang. And then the seventh stage is product revision. After conducting a preliminary test, researchers conduct data collection through questionnaire for students who have taken preliminary field test. And then the eighth stage is mind field testing. In this stage, researchers conduct a mind field testing involving 32 students, class 10, one of Islamic senior high school in Subang. And then the ninth stage is product revision. The product revision is carried out if there are deficiencies in the mind field testing that have been carried out. And the last stage is final project. In this last stage of the study, after the previous stage has been carried or complete and past several stages of trials, the product can be applied to the learning process. Okay, now next about research subject. In this study, the subject of the research is students and teacher. The total student is 46 in one of Islamic senior high school in Sagalherang, Subang, and the one teacher English was teaching in 10th grade in Islamic senior high school, Subang. And the last in methodology is research instruments. The instrument used in this study is the first is interview. The interview was conducted with a class 10 English teacher. And then the second is instruments validation. In this validation is include three components, namely expert validation of the material, expert validation of the learning media, and the teacher. And then the teacher of the class 10th grade English teacher at one of Islamic senior high school in Subang. And then the third instrument is questionnaire sheets. In the study, the questionnaire sheet was used to know how students respond about learning media developed. Okay, let's move the fourth outline. This is the result of the research. And in this stage, the researchers have four parts beside the research question. The first is the result of the result and process to developing opening media for narrative text material using narrative learning. After this stage or the steps 10 step complete, finally this research made a product, namely Nara Learning. This is a learning media interactive for 10 grade senior high school. There is about narrative text material, and then the second is about the feasibility of learning media for narrative text material using Nara Learning. And then the second is about feasibility of Nara Learning media. The design validation stage is carried out by several experts in their fields, including material expert validation, media expert validation, and one of English teacher. Okay, there is a percentage or result from validation sheets. The first is validation expert media with percentage 77%, criteria qualified, usable but with revisions. And then the second is material expert with the percentage 80%, criteria valid. And then the third is teacher validation with percentage 80%, criteria valid. It can be concluded that the media validity assessment can be cited to the valid so that it's suitable for use. And the third is about student response to develop a learning media for narrative text material using Nara Learning. In preliminary field, the student response percentage 85 2% with category very decent category. And the second is mind field testing with 80%. It can be concluded that the learning media or the student response is include the category very decent. And the fourth is about obstacle. The researchers found the obstacle is determine the learning video, the suit the material. And the second is evaluate appropriate and easily accessible questionnaires. Okay, the last one of the outline in this presentation is about conclusion. The research, it can be concluded that Nara Learning media is very feasible to be used as a learning media. Maybe enough for me. Thanks for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.